pan. I'm using what's a Teflon pan. This is a coating that they put on here. This is like the newest form of Teflon. Do you see any scratches on the pan?
Yes.
You do?
What is that?
No, if this was like gouged to the metal, you'd not want to use those, yeah. If you use metal on there or anything like that, it's no bueno. What this does, what Teflon does, is the same thing when you take a pan and you heat it up to expand the pores of the metal and then fill it with oil or butter. It does the same thing. It allows, basically, it sealed all the holes in the metal. That's all really Teflon is. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of butter in there. I'm going to let the butter melt. I'm going to put my eggs in there. And what I did historically was I took this tool because it's heat resistant, and I would move this round and round. And I move the pan back and forth and kind of to cook the eggs. And if you can pat your head and rub your stomach, you can make an omelet. Okay. If you can rub your head and pat your stomach, you can make an omelet. So, or any combination thereof. But that's important, and the reason why that's important is because if I just pour the eggs in there and let them cook, they're going to form a very hard, rubbery coagulant. It's just going to be this one massive mixture, and it's going to feel dense, rubbery, tough, not very pleasing. The technique here is to break up the curds as they're coagulating and make them very small. What that does is when you eat it, it feels supple and tender and finesseful. I made that word up. Just finesseful. But it really showcases technique and understanding of what's going on here. There are different styles of omelets. Right now, most people, there's a French omelet, which is what I'm going to demo you. And then there's something called an American omelet where they just pour the egg in there and they kind of move everything back and forth like this. And really, to me, that's more of a, I'm heating up the eggs. I'm not understanding what I'm trying to do by breaking up the, I don't even like the name American omelet. It's just not a properly made omelet. It's not. Because it's really dense, and then when you try and fold it over, it cracks in the half, and it's not, it doesn't showcase technique. I mentioned Auguste Escoffier probably a long time ago. He was the king of chefs, and he was also literally the chef of kings. He was the first chef for the Ritz Hotel Company. He designed and codified or wrote down all the stations, sauté, rôtisseur, saucier, garde-manger. He kind of put that all in writing. He didn't invent all that, it was already there. He just wrote it all down. He's also the one with these uniforms and the hat. It kind of made everything standard. In his book, he describes an omelet as scrambled eggs in an envelope. Okay? So I want you to, in your brain, to kind of tuck that off to the side. Scrambled eggs in an envelope. We're going to come back to that in a little bit. Okay? So now I'm going to show you how to make an omelet. Super easy. That's way too much butter. Or is it? So I'm going to take a little bit of butter, and when we do this when Alexis and I are doing this on the station, I would have this already melted, so it's just boom, put it in there. And I'm going to make sure I have my pan ready to go. I'm going to put my butter in, and then I'm going to put the eggs in. It's going to go pretty fast. So I'm going to melt my butter. Notice that it's not browning at all. I'm not trying to brown the butter. Just melting it, and I'm going to put the egg in there. What I originally did was I used my spatula to move everything around. But one time Alexis was grabbing my spatula and I needed a spatula. She grabbed mine and I found behind me I had chopsticks. So then I started using chopsticks to make the omelets, and now I don't go back. Now I just make it all the time with chopsticks. And see how I'm breaking up the curds as they're coagulating? And I'm going to do this until I get to where it's almost fully cooked, and then I'm going to stop, and I use a spatula to kind of spread everything out and make it even. And this would be now an egg set. Okay, so now I would have like 10 of these ready to go. I'd have 5 in front of me, 5 working on the 5 burners on the top, and then Alexis passes me down the onions and cheddar. These are the onions and cheddar. going to do a red pepper, spicy red pepper omelet. Another place where people kind of mess up is they put way too much filling in there. This is not like a baby burrito. Okay, you know when they fill up the burritos and they look like small babies? People just they put them on there. I was like, wow, that's impressive. Right? You seen that? You seen the burritos that are like this? That's like a small baby. You don't need a ton of filling in there. It's just meant to be a flavoring element. You could put goat cheese in here, asparagus, right? You can see that. Sauteed onions. You could put chilies in there, whatever kind you want to do. Then, when you're ready to take it out, remember, it's still cooking underneath there, right? Does this kind of look like scrambled eggs on top? Kind of. So now, what you want is you want to flip it over, and you'll notice that it's smooth and flat. It should be smooth as a baby's bottom.
Well, I thought we weren't eating baby burritos.
Smooth as a baby's bottom. You're not eating the whole baby, just the bottom. And have you ever seen a baby's tushy? They're really cute. Like I changed one this morning, and every time he has like the cutest pinchable tushy. It's so I'm like that's an omelet right there. I can wash my hands and sanitize. Oh, sorry. She doesn't like when I talk about Shane's tushy. All right, so then you just come over here and you just roll it out. Okay, so that is an omelet. That's a French style omelet.